What are the unsolved problems in the API space?
Unsolved problems. Well, I would start with there's a whole bunch out there right now that are made up, that are fabricated. I think that's
Like what kind?
just, marketing problems, home automation problems, things, comfort, convenience, ordering your coffee delivery, getting your coffee delivered, being able to just do things that really are first world problems, and not even first world problems. They're like privileged first world problems.
Interesting.
And there's a lot of products and a lot of investment in technology to solve those problems. But they're unsolved mostly because they're made up. They're not actually a problem, or people aren't, they're created and then, hey, this is unsolved, we've got a solution for it. They're there to sell you something. So I'd say there's a whole landscape and a whole spectrum of those. But as far as the unsolved problems that are truly out there, I would say, helping people understand what all this technology, what's going on with all this technology, what's behind the curtain, behind your credit score, what's behind the Facebook algorithm, what's behind these algorithms that are increasingly kind of governing our lives, and we have this phone in our pocket all the time, how the maps are making decisions for us, how, the job sites are making decisions for us. So I would say that's a big unsolved problem, is like, how does this work? Because the more we keep these things as black boxes, the more we don't educate people and kind of include them in the conversation. I mean, a lot of times it's their data, it's their information, it's their location. If we don't kind of pull back the curtain a little bit and kind of help people understand the problem that's being solved, that we're selling them, and if we're just continually keeping them in the dark and solving our problems as startups and companies with their data, that's not going to pencil out, and that's going to just create bigger problems. But I would say, for me, the biggest problem that I hear at large organizations is technical debt and microservices. How do you, break down the monolith? And I would say the biggest problem that contributes to that is we're just applying more technology. And we're just doing this for all these wrong reasons. We're not being honest and open about why we're doing it. And so we're just creating more problems.
A Red Queen effect.
Yeah, exactly.
We just keep running faster and faster.
And we sit here and ask ourselves, how are we going to, solve these problems that our companies have? We have all of these systems that don't talk to each other. We just acquired 8 companies. How do we integrate those? Well, we're gonna just double down on more technology before we actually kind of take a pause and actually solve the problems that we have on the table, and actually do this in a, be critical about how we're using technology. So it's not really an API thing, but it is, because I feel like the API process helps us kind of lay these out on the table, have a conversation about them, figure out who owns them, hopefully ask the questions, should we even do this in the first place? So, maybe just this one and this one, not this one. Right. And so I think the API journey for me is about kind of asking these questions.